Well, hello, students. I just want to give you a view me first video to kind of get you to navigate around the course in Blackboard a little bit before we meet um, next Wednesday night, which I believe is the 25th at about, let's see, that's right, 7:30 to 9:30. So we're only doing 2 hours together, and the rest online, but we are meeting for 8 weeks. But it'll be kind of nice because it's a transition going from, I believe you're taking employment training and development right into compensation, two very related courses to the HR certificate and or a concentration to HR. Um, I kind of did a little video for Kerry um, in academic counseling to kind of give you a little input as to what this is about. Real quick, let me tell you why I actually picked this book. I picked the book because it had to do with strategic compensation. And everything right now, and as we know, in corporate business has to do with strategy. It's planning. It's assessing our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, if you remember from doing your SWOT analysis. So when it comes to compensation, compensation is kind of like the heart of what motivates employees, really. There are different types of compensation. It isn't just monetary, as we know. Um, Compensation, such as showing appreciation for a job, is something sometimes you can't pay with money. But compensation on getting paid fairly and adequately is important. So we're going to be touching on things like when we first, everything in the course is broken down into modules. I hate this thing because it keeps sliding up and down, but it works great though. Um, in the first part of, I broke the whole course into 4 parts. In the first part of the course, which would be modules 1 and 2, by the way, each module on Blackboard, if you go into your link that says module link, if you click that on, it'll give you 8 folders with all dates on them. Those are the dates we're meeting. So in module 1 and 2, which would be part 1 of the course broken down into 4 parts, and 2 modules per part. No brainer, right? 8 weeks. Well, modules 1 and 2 are going to be setting the stage for strategic compensation. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at HR as a component of, we're going to look at uh, strategic compensation as a component of human resources. It's part of the HR system, but it's the most basic and physiological need. Then when we get into module 2, the following week, we're going to be talking about the contextual influences on compensation practice. Now, mind you, my intent week to week is to go through each module and put up a bunch of stuff for you to see. I'm going to put up some lecture notes for you, even maybe some YouTube videos, give some explanation to kind of compensate or maybe make the online component as an extension of the classroom rather than a separate part of the class. So, as I was saying, in modules 1 and 2, module 2 being the second week we get together, we're going to be talking about the contextual influences of compensation practice. They're going to throw your first hypothetical at you. That'll be your first exam. You're only going to have 4 exams for the course. That's it. Every 2 modules, you get 1 exam. And it'll basically cover what I'm going to be covering in those modules. All exams will be online. Hello, I'm not going to sit there and watch you take a test. We're only getting together 2 hours in a night. And you've already been through a course, so you're tired. So I want you to grab that second cup of coffee and your break between classes. And, so let's sit back, relax, and really absorb this stuff. Now, part 2, modules 3 and 4, And of course, when you read your syllabus, you'll see all of this. But it has to do with seniority and merit pay, incentive pay, and person-focused pay. And that's going to be an interesting concept for you to read about. Um, Part 3, modules 5 and 6 are going to be how do we design a compensation system? Um, we're going to be talking about building internally consistent compensation systems and then market competitive systems. Are we paying fairly? Are we getting the best help because we're paying what is kind of the status quo out there for the pay? Or are we giving a little more because we want better talent? Um, and then this is really interesting. When we get to part 8, chapter 8, it's going to be talking about building pay structures that recognize employee contributions. Then finally, the last part, employee benefits, discretionary benefits, legally required benefits, and then you get your last hypothetical. The rest of the syllabus is pretty self-explanatory. Now, I don't intend you to read or cover every single thing of every single chapter. I want you to get an overall knowledge of what we're trying to talk about. I have you write essay papers because I want to know what's in your head. They're not going to be really long and boring. The essay papers probably be a couple, 3 pages, double spaced. You only got 4 of them. Do them in APA or MLA, it's fine. And with references, I want you to research. Use the book as one source. Use your PowerPoints. Use my lecture as another source. When we're in class, I don't want to do any testing. I want to have active, synergistic type of discussion. Bring your own personal experiences. If you work in HR or you're connected to it or you are a manager of sorts, you want to talk about this type of stuff. And you're certainly going to connect it to the training component that you're going to be doing in your previous class. Because why do we train? We look at training as an investment. Well, compensation is the payoff of that investment. So you kind of, connect all the dots. Anyway, that is kind of my spiel. So I will see you on Wednesday night. The book can be downloaded, can be ordered, can be rented. I mean, any way you want to get the book is fine. You have all the PowerPoints, and I always get the question, if I get the PowerPoints, do I have to get the book? It's required reading. But there are a lot of cheaper ways to get a book, if you know what I mean. So, having said all of that, I will look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. And by the way, my syllabus has my cell phone number. But let me know who you are. Got a lot of students this semester. So if you text or call me, leave a message or let me know what class you're calling about, and I'll get back to you. But anyway, I'll see you 7:30 on Wednesday. Have a good weekend.